And to your point about people getting injured, not having weapons, Sterling Shepard officially did tear his ACL. Ian Rappaport is reporting that Giants coach Brian Daboll is reporting that the wide receiver Sterling Shepard has torn his ACL. His season is over. Fucking shame. He had Achilles last year. Battles all the way back. Has a big game. Starts to have a big-time game. And then in a non-contact injury, just jogging a basic, like kind of a straight route almost, a go route, thing just blows up on him in the middle of a game on turf, which led to a conversation from Odell Beckham Jr. that chimed in basically saying every stadium needs to be grass. We have enough money to make everything grass. This turf is problematic, which leads to another conversation that is very interesting. The NFL can't afford that.
Oh, yeah.
Every NFL team can afford that. It feels like every Premier League team has the ability to have grass. Now, they're running like 8 miles a game over there. If they were to have turf, everybody's knees would be blown up. But it feels like every other big league in the world that revolves around their players running things have grass and have the ability to do grass. You see that stadium in Phoenix. It basically, in the middle of the desert, figured out how to have a grass field because that motherfucker takes a walk outside. The grass takes a walk outside, gets the desert sun, then it comes back in. Then they got this other thing that comes over top of it that shoots a perfect amount of water on it, like the farmers do out there in the middle of America doing the good old shit with the John Deere tractors and such. They have that whole thing in there, so they have the sun regulated by walking it outside. They come in, they have the water regulated. It's like, why doesn't every team invest in that type of thing? You have the ability to do so. It seems like it's going to save a lot of people's injuries. Now, is the Sterling Shepard injury going to happen on grass or on turf? I guess we'd never be able to tell, but it feels like the turf injuries seem to be a lot more gruesome because of the lack of give. And I know the original AstroTurf back in the day, that green shit. That was just carpeting. It was literally just carpeting way back in the day. And I don't know if it's because of turf that he tore his ACL just jogging down there. We just saw the clip, and these are the most nasty ones. The ones with non-contact means it's just something just completely popped. Your body just said, nah, for whatever reasons. And we can't say that it was definitely the turf that caused it, but it definitely led to Odell Beckham Jr. talking about it, which he has gotten injured on turf before. Why not have grass on everything? I don't know. If it's potentially a saver, Odell Beckham Jr. says, just get rid of it all fucking together, bro. Billions made off this game. I can't understand why we can't play on grass. That shit is rough. Prayers up for my brother. Shit just hurt my heart. Now, I put an X in instead of an I because Odell Beckham Jr. is cooler than us.
That's right.
That is what he did. But that is a lot of guys say this, especially the running positions. Guys that got to run and run and run. They're like, hey, we are pounding the shit out of our joints on this. Can we not just get some grass and just be a little bit softer on all of us?
Well, and I think that's the key is you hear most players who say, yeah, we would much rather play on natural grass. And it's not like at this point they don't know how to do it in different cities. Like you mentioned Arizona, like there is a tried and true way that you can, if you're in a climate that maybe isn't conducive to keeping the grass nice year round, like you can do it. They've figured it out.
I knew a guy, okay? His name was Stank, okay?
Sure.
Stank was able to grow weed, okay, behind a false wall in the middle of Morgantown with zero light capacity or moisture control, okay? This guy was able to have fucking grow show behind a fake wall, no lights, nothing, because the way science has it set up where you can just have literally the perfect amount of UV rays in this thing, the amount of thing. He was a genius. Stank was a fucking genius when it came to this type of thing. I think he was in agriculture. I believe he was utilizing his entire thing. Like, you have enough money, even in the cities that are just in the middle of like winter and whatever, there's something that you can cover up and put your false wall behind, like Stank had, over top of that thing and monitor that grass, because that is very important to the entire outcome of your product. For me, I love turf because I kicked on turf. In turf, there's always a perfect ball, always set up there. So grass isn't fucking with you. You knew exactly what you were going to get from my position. But it seems like all the guys that are making a lot of money in the league and, generating a lot of the capital for the NFL are all like, hey, we all believe that we should be able to run without being sore every single goddamn day in our knees. Hey, Q, you're a big body. Obviously, you played in the NFL a long time. Big guys don't mind if it's turf or grass, do they? It's more of a skill position thing, or is it big guys as well, and I'm just kind of being a sizist here for you?
Yeah, you're complete sizist. I mean, this is – big guys hate it. More than anything –
Hate the turf?
Hate the turf.
Okay.
More than anything, it does. It makes your body sore. It's like running on a basketball court or concrete. It is definitely a harder surface than grass. When we would get out of training camp in Arizona, we would go back to our facility, and the first 3-4 weeks is always 110 degrees, and the veteran guys would always push like, hey, let's practice outside, even though it's 110, just to be on the grass so you're not inside in the bubble.
Okay, so we'd rather take the sauna
Right.
than the beating, basically. So that's what people are deciding. They're deciding to go into a hot sauna to work out as opposed to a room temperature 70-degree one because of the beating that the turf gives. So that's the big guys. Skill guys, you already hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'd assume defensive players enjoy the turf. D linemen enjoy the turf.
I think, period. I think it's universal. I don't think anybody enjoys it. I really don't, except for kickers and punters.
Yeah, we don't have to run, though.
Wasn't it
Yeah,
last,
I don't have to run, so it's fucking awesome for me.
was it last year or 2 years ago where like there was 3 or 4 people in the first 2 weeks who tore their knee on MetLife? I think Bosa got hurt, Nick Bosa got hurt there, and it was a conversation then like, hey, MetLife has to change this. I don't know if it was turf as a whole, but MetLife specifically I know is giving guys problems.
So we were talking about this earlier, and it led to another conversation that's currently taking place in the NFL. So Hurricane Ian, I guess, is about to be a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
Okay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already evacuated Tampa. They're training in Miami currently because Hurricane Ian is coming up through the west side of Florida and then about to go across the top of Florida, it seems like, into the Carolinas. Right into the Carolinas.
Yeah.
College game day this
Wait.
weekend. Right,
Aren't you?
right into there, you know? Hope everything's okay. Hope everybody's safe. Obviously, it's no fun at all. I don't know hurricanes at all. I'm from Pittsburgh, went to West Virginia, I live in Indiana. I go to Florida, it rains. I think it's a hurricane. They say, oh, this ain't a hurricane. And they're right. I've never been a part of an actual hurricane. Sounds like a hurricane is just when the sea and the sky say, fuck you, right? And there's no control in that at all. I think it's pretty inconsistent. I think they're not 100% sure where it's going to go. Tampa evacuating makes me seem like the people in Tampa who probably understand hurricanes a little bit thought that they were probably going to get fucked by this, so they evacuate. Now, the game this weekend that they have was supposed to be in Tampa Bay. They are now looking for other venues. It was reported, I believe, by Pelissero, the Arrow, that maybe Minnesota would be a place because Minnesota's playing in England against the New Orleans Saints, so their stadium is vacant. They also talked about maybe other Midwestern teams that have an away game that their stadium will be open. Talking about what we just talked about earlier, AQ and I and the boys got into it, it's like Tampa is a grass field stadium. There's no way that Tampa is going to want to go to Minnesota whenever we looked. The Tennessee Titans potentially have an open stadium this particular weekend, have a grass field. Maybe they'll be there. So I'm not sure it's 100% locked in, but those are the types of things that teams are thinking about when they're going to decide where they're going to play a game as opposed to their home stadium. Do we want to take another week of wear and tear on somebody's turf, on their legs, when we don't have to if this stadium is available and they have grass? It's legit. That's why what Odell tweeted and what happened with Sterling is so important, because that shit actually matters to the people that are actually playing the game. And AQ, I don't know if you want to echo my sentiments or add on to it. We kind of had that conversation earlier, but I think it was a good one. Like, I think that's a solid conversation to have right now.
I think so too, and I think if you look at that Tampa team, they're pretty banged up already. Not to mention they have a 45-year-old quarterback that probably doesn't enjoy running around on turf either. So that
He
would
has pretty
be
good pull, too, I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd say.
Pliable though. He can move around pretty well.
No, but I think what happened to Sterling Shepard last night is terrible. We are all, hey, Godspeed to Sterling Shepard, okay? Godspeed to Sterling Shepard. Hope you get back. That's tough after an Achilles. That is just, that's a tough double whammy mentally. Hey, come on, man. We hope you're all right.
Good luck,
under rehab.
Sterling.